90 degrees here in Chapel Hill for today's game between North Carolina and North Carolina State. And up the intensity for a historic meeting in a 125-year-old rivalry. 1993, the last time these programs met when both were ranked. The Tar Heels went to Raleigh and blasted the Wolfpack under rising star head coach Mack Brown. These schools have long hated each other, separated by just 25 miles. This is an in-your-face rivalry that dates back to 1894. The Wolfpack, the Tar Heels. It's the 110th meeting next. From Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Kenan Stadium, you're watching the ACC on ESPN. 14th ranked North Carolina looking to bounce back from that disappointing loss against Florida State. Welcoming number 23 NC State. The Wolfpack has won 3 in a row in Chapel Hill. And hello everybody, I'm Dave Pasch here in the AZ. Mike Golick is in Bristol. And Mike, this is an important game obviously for bragging rights, but more important in the standings.
Without question. Both teams right below Clemson and Notre Dame. Now, so this probably that elimination game for these two. And when you're looking at this game, this rivalry and that fighting, I don't condone fighting, but boy, that got my blood going. You look at the best player on the field, and that's going to be Sam Howell. That is going to be the guy everybody looks to. While they're running the ball better this year as North Carolina, Sam Howell, it's going to rely on his arm to see how this game turns out for North Carolina.
North Carolina State will start with the ball. Let's bring in now the third member of our crew from Chapel Hill. Here's Marty Smith.
Dave, Mike, good afternoon. These two programs are diametrically opposed in every way. They do not like each other, as we saw there in the open. Isaiah Moore, the great linebacker for the Wolfpack, told us this week, the more I play against them, the less I like them. Dave Doeren, the head coach for the Wolfpack, said this is going to be, quote, a freaking war. And let me tell you about Doeren. He walked out of the locker room this morning, took one look at me and said, Marty, you need more red in your suit. I said, Coach, I wore chocolate brown because it's the one suit I own I knew wouldn't tick you off today.
All right, Marty, on the first play, an incomplete pass for Bailey Hockman, who is now the starting quarterback for North Carolina State because Devin Leary broke his leg against Duke last week, might miss the rest of the season. Hockman did start the first 2 games this year when Leary was out because of contract tracing. He's a transfer from Florida State. Junior from Powder Springs, Georgia, and he's going to throw it on second down as well, and the pass is caught out across the 30-yard line by Thayer Thomas. So bring up third down at about 4.
So while you mentioned Bailey Hockman started the first couple of games, Dave, because Devin Leary was in contact tracing, it didn't all go that well for him. So they need to get this young man into a nice rhythm. You saw tried a quick pass early on where there was nobody open, a quick slant second play. They'll try and get their running game going as well. Try and get him into an early rhythm as they go right to a Wildcat.
Yep, it's Ricky Person with Hockman split out wide to the top of your screen. And Person trying to get outside but can't. He is cut down near the line of scrimmage. Good job by Day Hollins defensively out in space.
Yeah, the hole was there, and you got to know where you got to get the first down. You just go north and south to make something happen. Tried to go a little east and west, and Dada, as we said, or Day, I'm sorry, you know, makes a phenomenal play going down low, leg tackle, forcing the punt. Running back got to go north and south on that.
Trenton Gill, who's #1 all-time in career punt average for NC State, will kick it deep to the dangerous Daz Newsome for the Tar Heels. Newsome has to back up and fields it on his 16-yard line, trying to get the perimeter. And pushed out of bounds around the 25-yard line by Peyton Wilson. Now here is Sam Howell, true sophomore quarterback who just turned 20 years old. Last year set the true freshman record for touchdown passes with 38.
He's a guy, Dave, that, I mean, they have to rely again on his arm. As I said in the open, the running game is much better this year by over 40 yards per game. So they're definitely going to try and get that going. But this man's arm is going to lead a whole lot.
He will throw it here on first down and slings it complete out across the 30-yard line to Emery Simmons, who's getting the start because Bo Corrales, one of their top receivers, is out today due to injury.
Both these offenses will move at a quick pace. Certainly with all the experience that Sam got last year, he is in definite command of this offense.
Al again to the air, and it's a first down catch out across the 40-yard line. Good balance. Dyami Brown, who is a talented junior from Charlotte, 19 touchdowns a year ago, 3 already this season.
So here's the big difference, Dave. Last year, Sam Howell played so well, but it was a 7-6 team. They win the bowl game to make them 7-6. This year, the expectations are higher. 3-0, ranked number 5. They fall last week, so more will even fall on Sam Howell to reproduce what he did last year because the expectations are even higher this year.
NC State has a pretty good defense, though, especially at the linebacker position. There's Terrell Dawkins making the tackle in the backfield on Michael Carter. It's a loss of 4 on the play.
Oh, let me tell you, this is my first love when I started playing football, Dave. I was a linebacker in Little League and in high school, then went to outside backer a bit in college before, you know, having to put my hand on the ground because all my athletic ability left me. These linebackers, there's some on both teams that you could be watching some of the best linebackers in the country, and the 3 they have at North Carolina State are incredible.
After that 3-yard loss, they're going to run it here on second down. Javonte Williams able to keep his feet and drive forward near midfield. Good run for Javonte Williams. Both Williams and Carter average over 100 yards rushing per game as you look at the linebacker numbers for NC State.
Yeah, this is in the ACC. Peyton Wilson, by the way, is 6th in all the football in FBS. Last week against Duke, this trio had 41 tackles, 3.5 tackles for losses, 2 interceptions, both by Wilson. It is one of the most active groups out there, and that man, number 11, that is a throwback player, gang. 6'4", about 240, and he loves to hit.
On third down and 6, Howell to the air, and it's caught for a first down inside the NC State 40 by Dyami Brown. North Carolina State is number 16 in the country in third down defense, but Howell had all day to throw, and Brown was wide open.
Yeah, and what you're seeing right now, you saw the 3 passes, all on the outside, all with a big cushion that North Carolina State is showing right now. So you're still seeing it here. They're off pretty much, walking up a bit at the top of the screen. But Sam's going to take advantage of that if he's going to go to the air.
Snap was high. Javonte Williams gets the call, and he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage. There's Drake Thomas, one of those backers. Sophomore from Wake Forest, North Carolina, who's really good friends with the North Carolina quarterback, Sam Howell.
Yeah, he and Sam Howell and Drake Thomas played in the high school All-American game together. So they know each other pretty well. So you got to wonder if there's, you know, a little bit of smack talk going on here.
A 1-yard pickup. Howell back to throw here on second down and 9. Fires down the seam, complete. Here the 20-yard line is the tight end, Garrett Walston.
Boy, Howell is making it look easy right now. Wilson right past the linebacker, right before the safety, just puts it right in there, right where it needed to be. He is so relaxed, Dave, in the pocket. He has incredible poise for a young player, but again, because he got so much experience last year. There you go on the outside again. The corner's playing off, and I'm sure North Carolina is saying, hey, okay, you know, Phil Longo, the offensive coordinator, is saying, fine, they want to do that. We'll just keep hitting it to the outside, make it second and short, and keep our playbook fully open.
And so 5 for 5 passing now for Sam Howell. That was Simmons, who came in with no catches on the year. Already has 2 here on the opening drive, 4 all of last year. And the 9th play of the drive with North Carolina at the NC State 17. They're going to run it here on first down, and again, tough to do between the tackles. Not much there with Tyler Baker Williams making the stop on Michael Carter, pickup of about 2.
It'll be interesting where this running attack goes, because we've talked so much about Howell. Wait till we get to Carter and Williams, the 2-headed running back situation they have here at North Carolina, which is fantastic. We'll start showing you some stats on these guys, but they have been incredible. 11th in the country in rushing. That's certainly going to help your quarterback in play action and through the air.
On 3rd and 4, they run Carter, able to get to the outside. And Carter close to the goal line, no signal yet. He's out of bounds at the 1, or is he in? I'm calling this game from home and I can't see an official, so I'll have to trust what they're putting up on the television, and it says he's into the end zone for a touchdown.
Into the end zone for a touchdown. Yes, a nice patient run bouncing to the outside. Good pull, good kick out, good blocking downfield by Emery Simmons. And then Carter does the rest as I just start talking about the rushing attack and what these guys are able to do.
So Michael Carter with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. He struggled last week against Florida State. That entire run game did for North Carolina. They were down 31-7 to the Seminoles at halftime, but came back, had a chance maybe to tie it late, but some drop passes on the final possession. But Mack Brown told us they had a great week of practice, and boy, they certainly looked like it on that opening drive. It started with defense getting the 3 and out, but then a touchdown run by Carter to cap off an excellent opening drive offensively for the Heels. Meanwhile, NC State takes over on its 7-yard line and runs Knight out past the 10, gain of 4. We had a lot of talk about tank for Trevor, but let's not sleep on Justin Fields as one of the top quarterbacks, if not the top quarterback. They run Knight off the left side here to the 15-yard line. Comes up short by a couple of yards.
Got to feel good for everybody to start playing again in the Big Ten, soon the Pac-12. But we've had football going for a while in the SEC and the ACC. And Bailey Hockman, he's a lot falling on him now with the injury to Devin Leary breaking his leg last week. Again, started the first couple of games this year. You see not a great completion percentage, certainly not good. More touchdowns or more interceptions than touchdowns. They have to get the running game going. It averages about 150 yards a game or so. They're going to need to hit some running plays. They're going to need to hit some quick passes as well to start to build his confidence, build some first downs, and get on the move. We're back after this.
Well, part of us is at Kenan Stadium anyway, although Mike actually is in Bristol. I'm in Phoenix. Marty, we all admire the facial hair and the hair on top of Marty's head as well. He is there in Chapel Hill. Don't forget, Michigan, Minnesota tonight on ABC. The Big Ten 2020 is underway. Big 3rd down and 2, and they're going to go with the direct snap here to Person, and he will not get the first down. Great job by Chaz Surratt, converted quarterback, 2nd year as an outstanding linebacker. He and Jeremiah Gemmel were there defensively for North Carolina.
And these are the 2 studs on this defense, the 2 guys right there, Gemmel and Surratt.
23rd ranked North Carolina State trailing 14th rated North Carolina 7-0. The Wolfpack 13 3-and-outs through the first 5 games, 3 already here in basically a quarter. Another punt for Trenton Gill. His last one went 62 yards. And this takes a hop inside the 35 and out of bounds at the 33. Mack Brown in his 2nd year back at North Carolina, 12th year overall, 3 10-win seasons in his first stint in Chapel Hill. Said this was the only job he would come back for. Loved his work at ESPN and ABC. He and his wife Sally said it was either the Bahamas, Hawaii, or Chapel Hill. They picked Chapel Hill. Al finds De'Ami Brown, who's loose in the North Carolina State territory at the 49-yard line.
Well, we'll talk a lot about Mack Brown and certainly his career and what he's doing, but right now it's just too easy for, it's just 7-0 as far as how this offense is moving. Tony Gibson, the defensive coordinator, is going to have to change something up on the outside. There's just way too big a cushion. These receivers are getting the ball with way too much space to run after the catch.
So first down to the NC State 35-yard line. Al throwing, and it's incomplete. Tried to hit Simmons. That was well defended by Shaheem Battle, a redshirt freshman. Broke that pass up.
Now that's one of the few times we saw an outside receiver really challenged. And Battle does a nice job of challenging. The redshirt freshman, as you said, a very quiet player, just goes about his business to get the job done. But I'm glad to see the attack there.
North Carolina dropped 9 spots in the rankings after that loss in Tallahassee a week ago. Ranked 14th right now. They run Javonte Williams. Beautiful cutback move. And inside the 25-yard line, tripped up by Jakeen Harris.
What a great run. That was supposed to go left to come back all the way to the right, but I was so entranced at the end of that of Sam Howell throwing a block downfield. My eyes were glued to that as the back was running up right behind him.
That's the 11th first down for North Carolina. They're at the 24-yard line now of NC State. And Howell will give it to Williams. And Williams able to break a tackle. Nobody forces more missed tackles in all of college football than Javonte Williams. Makes defenders look silly game in, game out. C.J. Clark there lost his helmet on the takedown. He'll have to go to the sideline for a play.
So you saw the last play run left. It was supposed to run left, cut all the way back to the right. This play is supposed to go to the right and continues to the right. Contain is lost. And then Javonte Williams puts a sweet move on the outside on Devon Boykin for extra yards.
It's first and goal after that 14-yard run. Howell going to keep this one here inside the 5. Touchdown, North Carolina. Sam Howell's first rushing touchdown of the season.
So obviously he's looking for the quick pass to the right here with a tight end out in front of him. Sees nobody there, sees a hole, makes someone miss. Here's the thing. At times, Dave, North Carolina State has been there, but they're not making the play. They've been in position and they're not making play. And there, when your quarterback jukes you, you know, hey, thumbs up to the quarterback. But as a defender, you can't let a quarterback, you know, he can run, but he's not a real running quarterback. Let him juke you.
We thought the offense for NC State might be an issue today with a backup quarterback for all intents and purposes, but it's the defense for NC State that's struggling big time right now as Sam Howell's rushing score pushes the lead to 14-0.
I thought we were a little comfortable at Florida State.
Oh boy, and that pass is intercepted. They got run over by a freight train in this first half.
I didn't think we handled it well. We've been overrated.
Here's the play of their season. Howell dropped again. Third in a row.
We weren't the top 5 team in the country.
And in talking with Mack Brown this week, I feel like he meant what he said when he said that we're not a top 5 team. But it also seemed to serve as motivation as the Tar Heels have bounced back beautifully and lead their rivals 14-0. Let's bring in Marty Smith for more.
So, fellas, when you're getting beat at halftime by somebody you're supposed to beat, what do you say to your team? Well, Mack Brown thought back last weekend all the way to 1984. He was the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma for Barry Switzer, and they went to Kansas, and they were just awful. They were down 10-7 at halftime with a little-known third-string quarterback by the name of Troy Aikman. Ultimately, they go into the locker room at halftime, and Mack Brown went off on them for 20 minutes. You're going to lose this game. They end up losing. On the plane back to Norman afterwards, Brown sat beside Coach Switzer and said, "Coach, I blew it. I'm sorry." He said, "It's going to happen. You were down 2 quarterbacks." But at halftime, I sat there and listened to you tell those kids they were going to lose. Don't ever do that again. Don't tell them they're going to lose. Coach them. Tell them how they're going to win the game. And that's what he thought about last weekend at halftime of Florida State. Ultimately, they didn't win that game, but they had a chance.
And meanwhile, we've got a new quarterback, true freshman Ben Finley, in for Bailey Hockman, and they give him a couple of easy throws here to start the game. The last one was tonight, and this one is to a true freshman, Porter Rooks, and he has another first down for the Wolfpack into North Carolina territory. So Finley, a true freshman from Phoenix, Arizona. Older brother Ryan played for a long time at NC State, now currently with the Bengals. From the UNC 49. Knight able to break a tackle, finally brought down by Gimmel after a pickup of 4.
Well, what you're looking for here is a little spark. They didn't have it with Hockman running the show, so they changed it up, and they have a lot of confidence in Finley. Said he is a cool customer along the gunslinger line, so they may let this kid unload the ball a little bit here to try and get him moving.
Don't know if it's an injury to Hockman or if he's been benched. Here's Finley rolling left, and the pass is caught. What a grab by Emeka Emezi, North Carolina State's best receiver. And they're inside the 30-yard line of UNC.
And let me tell you why that was even more important, Dave. When you bring in a backup, in this case a true freshman, you have to make plays around him.
First and goal outside the 10-yard line after the penalty. Finley facing some pressure, going to a wide open receiver. It's picked off though. Off the hands of the receiver and into the arms of Don Chapman for the pick. It was Dylan Parham that had a chance at an easy touchdown, but he couldn't hang on.
Oh, Dave, just as I was saying, make a play for your quarterback.
Intercepted in the end zone, results in a touchback.
Make a play. This was an easy play. This is a ball right in his hands. Not only does he drop it, but he keeps it alive in the air. And a great recovery then by Chapman, because they blew the coverage here. That man was wide open. You're thinking that's 6. You keep running the ball, and there it is. Just hanging in the air for you for an easy interception for Chapman. That is a monster disappointment, Dave. But I guarantee on the sideline they're saying, hey, look at the drive we had. Oh, everything's okay. Defense got to go stop them. We drove the ball really well. We'll just have to do it again.
And maybe we found something at quarterback. You just saw their best receiver, Emeka Emezi, go over to Ben Finley, shake his head as if to say, okay, young man, keep doing what you did. But the drop by Parham leads to a turnover. Howell keeps it here. And he slides to the defender. Harris came in for the hit, but I think he was trying to determine whether Howell was going to slide or not, so no penalty flag.
Yeah, and you know in today's game how they do it, Dave. They go on the safe side. I really thought they might have thrown a flag there. I'm glad they didn't. Again, as he slides, Harris comes over the top of him a little bit. I'm glad they kept the flag in their pocket on that one.
Yep, looked like Harris held up too.
Yep.
Could have laid him out with a forearm, but didn't. Javonte Williams is in now in second down. He gets the call, and Williams has a first down inside the 40-yard line.
Again, excellent job by that big offensive line, pulling right up into the middle. Ed Montilus, the left guard, pulls around the center, follows up the hole. Great job by the left guard there, number 63.
110 yards on the ground already for North Carolina. Both Carter and Williams average over 100 yards per game. Al slings it to Simmons, making a beautiful move on the sideline. Boy, Simmons already with more catches today than he had all of his career. He's got a handful of grabs, and he's close to another first down.
You know, guy getting a chance, a guy getting some extra reps, and they're taking advantage of it right now. He's taking advantage of it, and they're still taking advantage of that soft coverage on the outside.
Second and 2 at the NC State 31. Williams easily gets the first down and more. Stepped out of bounds, but not much resistance by North Carolina State against that UNC rushing attack.
I'm really surprised at this, Dave. This North Carolina State defense, I think, has played so much better, and they've been aggressive, and they're just giving up the outside now in these runs, outside on the passes.
10th play of this drive for the Tar Heels. Williams again. Down to the 5-yard line. Pushed back by Harris. Second and goal.
This is when that I've been in this situation on that defensive side. You got one of your stars limping around, looking a little tired as well. Someone who steps up to make that play. You're looking across at an offense that has been rolling pretty well on you.
They have been able to force some turnovers this year. They have 6 interceptions, 7th in the country, but I don't even know if North Carolina is going to throw the ball here. Second and goal. They give it to Williams, and that's well done at the point of attack by the nose guard, Aleem McNeil, along with Isaiah Moore.
Yeah, that's 2 of your bigger players of the handful of players who are the stars on that defense. There's 2 of them.
And Howell to throw. Facing pressure. Howell throws to the end zone. Overshoots the intended receiver, Simmons. And it's 4th down.
Huge stop. Big pressure by Drake Thomas, number 32, one of the linebackers. Those 3 we've talked about. Bringing pressure. Good time to bring pressure. You see him from the left side. Coming up, making a nice move on the tight end, Kamari Morales. gets around him, forces the quarterback outside to make that high throw. Too far, out and away. Great stop by North Carolina State.
So Grayson Atkins will come on for a short field goal attempt. He's 2 for 4 on the season.
Wow.
And he missed it. He's missed more than he's made now on the year, and it remains 14-0.
Wow, that was just the snap and hold all looked good. We'll see it here. Yeah, the snap was there. The hold looked good, and that was. Here you go. Let's see. Snap, hold. Good snap. No laces. That's just a yank right there. Wow.
And it hit the outside of that left upright.
So, Dave, here's that North Carolina State offense. They just had a good drive. Defense, while they're bending, they didn't break there. And they get fortunate with the missed field goal. Let's see what young Mr. Finley can do, the true freshman, Ben Finley, in the game.
Came in for Bailey Hockman, who was replaced. They got into a goal-to-goal situation, but a drop pass that led to a pick. Out in space to Thayer Thomas. Driven to the ground near the 30-yard line. NC State with 3 minutes to go, 2 timeouts remaining, trailing 14-0.
And that'll be the job, I'm sure. The coach is telling Finley, get the ball out to your playmakers. Quick passes, that time, let Thayer Thomas, let those guys make the plays.
Finley to throw again, dumps it off here to Person. And out past the 35. The ball came out, but Person was down. And he was hurt earlier and shaken up again. Tackle made by Chaz Surratt. As you look at Person going back to the NC State locker room. So it'll be Bam Knight. Actually averages more yards per game than Person. In the game at running back next to Finley. Finley throwing it to Knight. Able to slip a tackle. Knocked out of bounds by Hollins.
I mean, we were watching, Dave. We were watching Finley on the sideline. He was jumping around. Teammates were coming up and talked to him. He was very animated. I mean, he's someone that knows he's in the game and believes he's ready to play and is not afraid to whip it out there. And right now, I think it's great play calling. As I said, quicker passes to the playmakers, let them do their thing. Eventually, he's going to have to take it downfield.
Finley stepping back here and dumps it off to Angeline. Talented tight end, a transfer from USC, who's got 5 touchdown passes this year. Only Kyle Pitts at Florida has more among college football tight ends. And third down coming up here for the Wolfpack.
That's a nice big target for you at 6'7", 250. That's for sure. That's a great bailout guy.
Finley overshoots the receiver. There was some contact, but perhaps the receiver just fell down. Tyler McMichael tangled up with C.J. Riley, the intended target.
Yeah, can't throw a flag there. Feet get tangled up. You let that one go. I know he's complaining about it. Would have liked the flag, but you're just going to see the feet line just trips over the feet. You can't make a call there. And that's what I said. You know, eventually there's going to have to be some throws downfield. Don't know where that one would have ended up if the receiver and the defender's feet didn't tangle up.
So second down and 10 at the NC State 46-yard line. Finley hits a Mezzi out in space into Carolina territory, close to a first down, appears to have it at the 43.
And they'll keep moving quick. And what I like about that, Davis, I like where he put the ball. The receiver catches it and goes right into his stride. I think he's throwing a very, very catchable ball. It may seem like a little thing, but when you see a back swinging out or a receiver catching the ball on like a hitch, where is that ball placement? How quickly can they turn and run to gain some yards? He's putting the ball in nice places.
Clock stop there to reset the chains on the first down. They go back to Knight here with the run game. Thrown down at the 41-yard line by Tomari Fox, North Carolina's best defensive lineman. It's a 2-yard gain. Keep in mind for NC State, this is the third quarterback who's played in the last 4 quarters. Devin Leary broke his leg last week. Bailey Hockman started this game, and now Finley is in. And Finley throws that pass out in front of Thayer Thomas, incomplete. Third down and 8.
Yeah, that was a miscommunication there. They're, you know, obviously they already run that hurry-up offense. They're doing it now. We have a minute left in the half. 2 timeouts, though, so plenty of time. But, boy, a lot on the true freshman's plate. Finley, an excellent last drive as we take a look at Hockman, who's been benched at this point. Nice drive last time, and now a nice drive here. And now you add the 2-minute drive element to it as well.
Jordan Houston is in the game at running back, helping protect. Finley's pass caught for a first down, and Emeka Emezi inside the 10. Touchdown, NC State. Emezi's 3rd of the season. And how about true freshman Ben Finley?
What an excellent job. You saw North Carolina faking pressure, and because their linebackers were up there faking pressure, they didn't get to as deep as they wanted in their drop zones, or they got this from starting at the line of scrimmage instead from the normal linebacking position, and Finley just fired it right over where they would have been to a receiver who had to step on to the inside of the defender, did the rest. Excellent job.
Give Dave Dorn credit, too, as the point after is good, for making the decision early in the game to go with Finley instead of Hockman. It paid off.
We already talked about his enthusiasm on the sideline. You see the defenders up, and as they're dropping back, they can't get back deep enough. The ball over their head into Emezi, who's got the inside route. Look at the youngster. He's having a ball out there. A game that could have gotten away from North Carolina State is now just a 1-score game, thanks a lot in part to a true freshman.
Michael Carter is deep here, but it will be a touchback and will come out to the 25. 54 seconds left. All timeouts remain. The pass is caught along the sideline. De'Ami Brown pulls in a beautiful throw by Sam Howell. The Tar Heels have plenty of time here to get some points before halftime.
Well, because neither of these quarterbacks of age, I'll say Sam Howell is just saying, hold my soda. You know, while I you did that, I'm gonna go down the other way. I got all 3 of my timeouts in 50 seconds.
26 yards to the 49 of NC State. And a draw play, and Carter able to break a couple tackles, close to a first down. 40 seconds to go.
I love watching these 2 running backs, Carter and Williams. You think they're down, and they're just not.
2nd down and 1, so the clock moving. They elect not to use the timeout. Little surprise there. Howell's pass incomplete, so now the clock will stop, but they wasted about 15 seconds. You had 3 timeouts. Thought they should have burned 1.
Completely 1000% agree, Dave. You got 3 timeouts. Can't take them home with you. I mean, that would have been, you could have saved yourself 8-10 seconds right there.
Trying to get the field goal range here, but you had enough to move the ball down the field and maybe get a touchdown. Well, 3rd down and 1 on the 40. Their kicker just missed a 22-yard field goal. Keep that in mind. So forget that field goal target line right here. It doesn't matter after the miss for 22 yards. Here's Williams as they run the ball, and he's able to get the first down. The clock will stop as they reset the chains. 16 seconds to go, but they may call a timeout anyway.
Got to call a timeout here, yeah.
All right, so with a timeout on the field in Chapel Hill, we'll be back in 10 seconds. Grayson Atkins long this year is 35. He is 2 for 5 on the year, including that miss on the last possession. Still 2 timeouts left for the Tar Heel. Pressure up the middle. Howell's pass is caught by Carter for a first down. Clock is at 10 seconds. We'll see if the Tar Heels use their 2nd timeout.
Have to.
Timeout. North Carolina.
About a 40-yard field goal attempt from here. As Howell steps up, does get rid of it, throws it into the end zone. He had a receiver. Boy, Carter was wide open, but Howell overshoots him. 4 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, I think Howell thought about running for a moment and then saw Carter break open, and then he just overthrew him. Even if that one, there's no way Carter would have got that. He would have been out of bounds. So that one's on Sam right there as he get ready to try a 40-yard field goal.
Grayson Atkins has missed twice from 40 yards or longer this year. Let's see if the young man can redeem himself here after missing a 22-yarder earlier. Like 40-yard try here by Atkins, and he nails it. Well, good for him. Bouncing back from that ugly miss earlier, and North Carolina will take a 10-point lead into the locker room. But it seemed like it could have been a lot larger lead. But NC State went to its backup quarterback, Ben Finley, and everything changed. 17-7, Carolina in this rivalry game. Now Matt Berry in the studio. Welcome back to college football on ESPN, presented by Geico, in the 110th meeting between North Carolina and North Carolina State. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Looked like North Carolina was going to run NC State out of town early on, but a missed field goal by the Tar Heels, a touchdown by NC State, and it's just a 10-point lead for number 14 against number 23 in Chapel Hill. North Carolina will start on offense here in the third quarter. Michael Carter is the deep man, and he'll run it back up to the 25. Moments ago, Marty Smith spoke with Mack Brown.
Coach, what did you like that you guys did, and what do you wish you guys had done better?
I like we kept the ball. I like we were very physical. I don't like the fact that we gave back 10 points on offense. We had the holding penalty down here, and we missed the field goal. I don't like the fact that when the young quarterback came in for them, we let them get excited and get some momentum. And I hate the fact that we gave up a touchdown with 5 minutes left in the half. That's not smart of us, not good of us. We did a very poor job. I like the fact that we responded with the field goal. It's important that we come out and get something the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you.
And on the first play, they'll run Javonte Williams. And he gets a first down, dragging a defender out to the 37-yard line for 12 yards on the first play of the second half.
And you just heard him say it's important to get something here in the first 5 minutes. And really this first drive, Dave, you think about how that first half ended. Really, it should have been 2 touchdowns by North Carolina State. But NC State does hold then. North Carolina does get the field goal at the end of the half. So how big is this? North Carolina State has got to step up and make a stop here and give who their true freshman that has gone in the game, Ben Finley, the chance, because he's been hot. But North Carolina, if they could settle themselves down now, they just got to score before half, try and drive down and get a score here. I can't tell you how important coming out that first drive of the third quarter always is after you make those adjustments at halftime.
Good play by NC State up front there in first down with Terrell Dawkins making a tackle on Williams. Now Carter is in the game at running back. UNC has rushed for over 150 yards on the game. Play action for Howe. Taking a shot down the field. Single coverage. And it's well defended. Yami Brown with Malik Dunlap in coverage. Third down and 10. A matchup of one-loss teams. Again, no divisions this year in the ACC. Notre Dame is eligible for the ACC championship game, so you got to finish in the top 2. As good as Notre Dame and Clemson are, this could be an elimination game here between the Heels and the Pack.
Without a doubt, neither North Carolina State nor North Carolina plays Clemson this year. North Carolina does play Notre Dame this year, so I agree. This could definitely be an elimination game.
On third down and 10. Howe facing pressure. And Howe is sacked back at the 28-yard line by Daniel Joseph. Great start defensively for NC State. Pressure initially by Peyton Wilson, who was banged up a lot in that first half.
You saw one of the first drives pressure with a 3-man rush, but now North Carolina State has been bringing extra pressure. We see a linebacker come there. We see a cornerback coming there, trying to make Howell make these quicker decisions and getting the pressure, getting the sack. Huge job getting off the field for NC State.
Then Kiernan to punt for UNC. Thayer Thomas is deep for the Wolfpack. Makes the first man miss. Breaks another tackle and brought down at the 30-yard line. Take a look at today's player spotlight, brought to you by Taco Bell. Ben Finley, true freshman quarterback. Dave Doran said yesterday, hey, he's ready if called upon. Bailey Hockman started the game, was ineffective, so they went to the true freshman. Mike, you talked about how he led him down the field. Should have been a touchdown pass. Instead, it was picked off after Parham couldn't bring it in. But then Finley did come back with a touchdown pass to Emezi.
For a true freshman, he has taken over this offense, has the backing of all the players. He's showing incredible confidence right now.
First down at the 42-yard line. Instead of run play to Knight, and he's got some room. Knight still going up to midfield, diving close to the first down at the 49-yard line. Sophomore from Bailey, North Carolina, Bam Knight, who averages 6 yards a carry, got about 9 there.
Oh, the left tackle, Laquana, what a block. He absolutely destroys Jeremiah Gemmel. I mean, just lays him out.
Another run play here. Knight able to get the first down to the 46.
Talked about the bread and butter play for North Carolina, pulling a tight end and a guard. Well, for North Carolina State, they pull their center and their big tackle there on either side. Those are their bread and butter plays as well. And that one was effective.
Finley to throw here. Another short pass out of the backfield. Houston driven to the turf by Gemmel after a gain of 1.
So as I said, we're seeing runs, we're seeing quick passes to the outside. You know it's going to be coming down the middle pretty soon on a throw. But I really am impressed with the play calling right now. This quarterback already had some confidence, but it's building.
Finley to throw again, and that pass is tipped, and another interception, this time by Surratt. 2 deflected interceptions thrown by Ben Finley.
2 interceptions, both on tipped passes. One was tipped by his own teammate, and this one tipped by a defender. They're seeing the quicker passes coming. They're getting their hands in the air, and that's just like a punt coming down. Easy pick for North Carolina. They maintain their 10-point lead.
Tyrone Hopper deflects it. Surratt intercepts it, gets the belt. 2 takeaways coming into today for North Carolina. 2 interceptions in this game for the Tar Heels. And now the UNC offense takes over at the 40-yard line, leading by 10. Another NC State drive comes to an end with a giveaway. Running to the right is Carter. And a gain of about 6 before he's brought down by Jakeen Harris. Don't forget Habib Nurmagomedov coming up against Justin the Highlight Gaethje over on ESPN Plus. UFC 254 main event live from Fight Island.
Gaethje had been a brawler for a lot of his career, but more as a violent tactician now as well. Wrestling, though, as far as on the mat, that's all Khabib. He is, I think, second most takedowns in UFC history. So you want to get on the mat with him.
Howell hands it off to Javonte Williams, breaking another tackle inside the 40-yard line of NC State and pushed out of bounds near the 30. A penalty marker is down. Boy, Williams, who breaks more tackles than anybody in the country, has shed about 8 or 9 different tackle attempts in this game by the Wolfpack. But it's coming back, a holding call.
Yeah, coming back, holding. But to your point, and to the exact number coming into this game, he has broken 29.2% of tackles. That's number 1. That's number 1 in the country.
Holding offense number 1, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. The ball still remains beyond the line of gain. First down.
Happened downfield on a receiver, Joffrey Brown.
Yeah, right at the bottom of the screen there off our vision. We didn't see it. There you go, number 1. Yeah, as soon as you get that hand extended out, got cloth in your hand as the defender trying to pull away. Ref sees that easily.
Howell has a rushing touchdown. Looking deep here, got a receiver, caught at the 20. Michael Carter, who's a pretty good receiver out of the backfield with a big play. 30 yards.
And while we've talked about Carter and Williams, the running backs, they both have really wanted to and have up to their receiving games as well. And a lot of these players think about the next level. The next level, you've got to be able to do both. Run, catch, and pick up blitzes. And these backs are starting to really get great at all 3 of those phases.
Out to the air again. Pass end zone wide open is Josh Downs, the true freshman with a touchdown.
Now this is nothing but a blown coverage there. See the defender letting him go, thinking someone else is picking him up. That's Joshua Pierre-Louis, a true freshman in there.
Atkins, who missed a short field goal but also made one at the end of the first half to stretch the lead from 7 to 10, is on to try to make it now a 17-point game. North Carolina in command of this one in Chapel Hill, up 17 on NC State. Jordan Houston is deep here, him kicking off. This will be a touchback. No mental error defensively. We've seen some physical errors offensively. Drop passes by NC State. One that was in the end zone led to a pick. Now Finley in trouble here, backing up and just throws it away. Hard to tell if he was outside the pocket or if there was a receiver in the area, but does not appear to be a flag for grounding. Again, I'm in Arizona. Mike is in Bristol. Marty Smith in Chapel Hill for this one.
We're probably going to start to see here, Dave, as it's now, you know, the score pulling away for North Carolina at 24-7. More passing. You may see North Carolina pinning the ears back a little more.
They bring 5 here on a run play to Knight. And Knight is past the 30. It's about 7 yards, so they'll be in third and manageable. Like the Don Chapman, who had an interception earlier in the game, is shaken up on that play for UNC.
Chapman with the injuries is a safety that can play corner as well. Quick snap here to get the first.
Tim Beck is the offensive coordinator for NC State. First year, he had been at Texas. Also coached Bo Pelini at Nebraska, Urban Meyer at Ohio State. The NC State offense down to its third quarterback now. Finley on 3rd and 3, leaving the pocket in trouble. And Finley just throws it away. See if NC State goes for it on 4th and 3. Some pressure applied by Tyrone Hopper for UNC.
7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Down a bunch.
What do you do, Mike?
I mean, I can't blame him a bit for going for it here. I mean, it's short enough. It's manageable. There's certainly a number of plays you can run here to get it. Now, they may be just trying to get him to jump. We'll see if they actually run a play here or not.
Well, the way NC State's defense is played,
yeah,
it feels like they have to go for this. Is going to be a quick kick, though.
Yep.
And Finley does an excellent job. NC State will be able to down that inside the 1-yard line.
Wow.
Great job on the quick kick. North Carolina backed up. Yeah, with them backed up here at their 1-yard line after that excellent quick kick by the quarterback. Javonte Williams able to give him some breathing room and more up past the 20-yard line. Finally dragged down at the 25.
Well, let's forget about Antonio Brown for a bit because that was a great chance for North Carolina State to try and keep pinned in. And there's that running game, 11th best in the country. And there's that running back who knows how to break tackles extremely well. Javonte Williams gets him a whole lot of breathing room.
I mean, that's the story of the day. NC State defense can't stop the run. So first down to the Carolina 25 with Carter in the game now. At running back. He rushed for almost 200 yards. Carter brought down after a 1-yard gain. All right, give me your Antonio Brown.
So Antonio Brown, it's not shocking he was going to sign. He's suspended until next weekend, week 8. But you want to sign him now because as soon as you sign him, he has to be in COVID kind of, you know, inside that for 5 days before he can really join the team. So you want him to be able to play by week 9. You sign him and get him in there. And as far as him signing, it had to be with we heard about Seattle, you know, and Pete Carroll and Baltimore with John Harbaugh, and now Bruce Arians in Tampa Bay where he goes. It had to be a coach, and I'll finish after this play.
Howell steps up, eludes pressure, and throws a strike to Dyami Brown for a first down.
it had to be a coach and a veteran team situation where if he acts up again or things aren't going well, you cut him. Because it's not going to be a huge deal. It's not going to be a big cap hit. So if he starts, you know, doing Antonio Brown things that we've seen him do, unfortunately, because he's a great talent on the field, but if he starts acting up and it's hurting the team or not productive, you have to be with a team where the coach says, we're done with you, goodbye. And Bruce Arians would be that guy if it got to that situation.
Play action here for Howell. In trouble. And Howell throws it away. I think you're right, Mike, with Brady there and, more important, Bruce Arians, who isn't going to put up with any nonsense. If there is an issue with Antonio Brown, you're going to have a lot of guys holding him accountable.
And by the way, Tom Brady was a big proponent to bring him to Tampa Bay. Remember, Tom had him in New England before that went south there. And you have some great veterans there. Obviously, Tom, Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, you know, and with Bruce Arians. So you either fit in and boy, oh boy, think about on the field if Antonio Brown is anywhere near what he is, what it could do for that offense.
Williams straight ahead, breaks more tackles. It is amazing how this guy, he never goes down on first contact. Now, he's big at 220 pounds, but it is amazing.
You know what I think he does so well, Dave, is he has great balance, number one. And again, shoulder tackling is not going to do it. And he kind of is able to give with the hit, to kind of give with his body. He absorbs a blow, gives a little bit, and has great balance to stay on his feet. It is really amazing. 11 broken tackles today. And again, he's already has the highest percentage of breaking tackles in the country.
So fresh set of downs at the NC State 42. Carter. Another Carolina first down. Let's get an update on Syracuse Clemson with Matt Berry.
Yeah, guys, not sure what's going on. Rex Culpepper to Nakeem Johnson. Clemson a 48-point favorite in this one. It is now 27-21. Syracuse with the ball back.
You almost knew that this was coming, right? I mean, Clemson had to...
when you're that good at blowing teams out, you know there's going to be a letdown. You have a younger team now, a lot of young guys playing. It definitely can happen.
Syracuse got beat by Liberty. Liberty's 400 yards in the first half. It's Georgia. Carter with another good run for the Tar Heels. Syracuse got the ball back, down 6. Syracuse upset Clemson a few years back. Now Syracuse was much better then. Peyton Wilson back on the field for that play for NC State. Battling for injury today.
Yeah, he's been on and off. I believe that right knee's got had the brace on it.
Tough to get him to the sideline despite how much he's hurt. Just absolutely loves the game. Brother Bryce pitching in the World Series, or at least the LCS for the Braves. Lost to the Dodgers though, as Howell's pass over the middle is caught down to the 1-yard line. De'Ami Brown with Dunlap all over him. That was a great throw.
Up at the top of the screen, that was a nice throw because that was pretty good coverage by Dunlap. De'Ami Brown's got the inside, so that's exactly where the ball needs to be. And it is up high. Either Brown's getting that or nobody's getting that. He goes up and just snags it out of the air. Excellent job.
It's a program that has never been good except when this guy was coaching them. All right, think on that. They run on 1st and goal, and Javonte Williams is in for another North Carolina touchdown.
This one definitely getting away from NC State. North Carolina just wearing them down. I mean, and really with the run, that's been what's been doing it without question. Here on the goal line again, I talked about the size of that O-line, just leaning on the D-line, getting the payoff.
So 3rd rushing touchdown today for North Carolina by the 3rd different guy, Howell, Carter, and Williams. And it's 31-7 North Carolina.
Look at that, 11 plays. Wow, I mean, and play one got him off, you know, to the what, 25 yard line. So they were out. It looked like North Carolina State, maybe that was kind of their last chance to to see if they could get a stop, see if they could turn this thing around a little bit. North Carolina said, not today. I'm used to looking at other people's paper, you know, and I didn't have one to look at. I'm just kidding. I didn't much.
You talking about at Notre Dame or
Nope.
now?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Finley in trouble in the backfield here and lost the ball. Was sacked by Surratt, coughed it up, and North Carolina comes up with the football. Desmond Evans getting the recovery.
Well, young man started out hot, started out with a lot of confidence. And then the game got to him a little bit. More importantly, North Carolina got to him a little bit. Chaz Surratt with the pressure there. He puts his right hand on the ball, trying to tackle him. And then the true freshman, Desmond Evans, gets the recovery.
Chaz Surratt has turned into such a good linebacker. You talked about it earlier. Converted quarterback in his first year on defense. Runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC behind a guy who was picked in the top 10, Isaiah Simmons. And he was so good in high school on offense that he once held the North Carolina high school record for total offense. So first down and goal. Nothing there for Carter.
Now, you know, you sit there and you look at the schedule for them, and listen, Maccabee hate we're doing this because at 3-0 they were getting thumped by Florida State. But, you know, they look like they're on their way in this game, then at Virginia, at Duke, then home to Wake Forest, and then back-to-back Notre Dame and at Miami. Again, they don't play Clemson in the regular season, but they do have Notre Dame and Miami.
Howell with the pitch to Williams on second and goal. Williams is in for his second touchdown this quarter. He broke 3 tackles, including one against his offensive lineman.
I'm with you. I'm just amazed. I mean, they're at least they tried to wrap up on the tackle and still miss it. Devon Boykin, the true freshman. We've seen shoulder tackles bounce off, wrapped up guys just slide down and off of them. He is incredible at breaking tackles.
So he's got 11 touchdowns now on the year. He was 3rd in the country with 9 coming into today. He's got 9 rushing, 2 receiving, and it is 38-7.
You hear Coach Brown there say that they weren't the top 5 team in the country, and he meant that because they weren't ready for the stage. I know, Dave, you mentioned that earlier. But he said that when he left Texas, he didn't leave Texas the way he wanted to. He didn't leave the game the way that he wanted, and it left a sour taste in his mouth. He said he couldn't handle losing, and he couldn't stand to see injury reshape the trajectory of young men's lives. That's why he got out. And then when he got inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, they told him, you need to take a year. Take a year before you're actually inducted. He said, what's that all about? They said, you need to take this year and thank every single person that got you here. So he went back to every single station that he ever coached. And when he came to Chapel Hill, so many of his former players came back. And the camaraderie was beautiful. Coach, you remember when you chewed my butt about this? Coach, you remember when you went to my dad's funeral? Coach, remember when you spoke at my wedding? And his wife, Sally, when they left here that night, said, I haven't seen you with that gleam. I haven't seen you that happy since you left coaching. If this thing ever opens up, you should seriously consider going back to Chapel Hill, and that's where he is, and he has turned this thing around so quickly.
Well, you look at that Texas job now. Nobody's been able to win since he was there, and Tom Herman, who knows what the future holds for him if Texas doesn't play better here the next few weeks. Hoffman throwing the ball downfield. That pass on the money. Caught by Thayer Thomas.
Wow, excellent throw, goes to the outside. That's what you need, a guy making a play for you, as Hockman trying to redeem himself from being benched earlier in the game.
Hockman again throwing it downfield, and it is caught. Let's see here, Wade. On the ground, they're going to say incomplete. Thought it was caught there for a second. Penalty marker is down.
Pass interference, defense number 15. The penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot, first down.
And 3,500 in attendance along with the Carolina sideline. They don't like that call.
They don't. It's Day Hollins with the interference. Let's see what we can see on this.
Eight penalties now on North Carolina, so NC State in the red zone. 35-yard pass play on the previous play. Now to the end zone. Hockman through the hands of Thayer Thomas. Couldn't hang on.
So let's see if we can see where this interference was on Hollins. He has the inside position. Now he's looking at the receiver, now looking back at the ball. I sure didn't see any interference. At least on that view. Maybe we have another that may show that. That looked like good coverage.
I'm with you. Second down and 10. Hockman in trouble. Escapes. Dumps it off. It's caught. Not into the end zone, though, as Brooks couldn't keep his feet, but it will be first and goal.
This is making it really interesting, Dave, on North Carolina State looking to score here on what they're going to do next week at the quarterback position.
There's Hockman keeping it, and he's in for the touchdown.
So just quarterback keeper all the way, nothing fancy. Finds a hole, gets in for the score, but you know, Finley, the true freshman, comes in as this guy Hockman gets benched. Finley comes in, a lot of pep, gets the offense on a few good drives. Then it starts to fall apart a little bit for him as the bread and butter plays he was doing started to be defended a little better. He seemed to not be able to handle it as well. So the coach is saying, you know what, we're going to pull him back out and put Hockman back in. Takes him down for a score. And this one, we weren't sure what kind of a game we were going to get. You know, with North Carolina coming off the loss and North Carolina State having to deal with Devin Leary, their starting quarterback, breaking his leg in their win last week. So we saw the quarterback issues today with Hockman starting the game, getting benched for the true freshman, Ben Finley, Ryan Finley's brother. Ryan Finley, who played ball here and is now the backup in Cincinnati with the Bengals. So, as I said, going forward, it's going to be an interesting decision on what they want to do at that position, because Leary is going to be out for a while as an onside kick.
And ball on the ground. Looked like North Carolina recovered it. But with the injury to Leary, you got to think, you know, the defense have been playing well. We've got a pretty good group in that front seven, but they did not get it done. They got pushed around today. First down for Carolina on the Wolfpack 45. And they wrap up Carter after a short game.
I agree completely, Dave. You know, between both these teams, but really when we were talking about North Carolina State being led by that trio of linebackers, now we know one of them, Peyton Wilson, the sixth, you know, best leading tackler in the country at 11 per game. He has been nicked this entire game as the third quarter is going to come to an end. Yeah, I'm with you. Going with the backup quarterback, I thought that defense was going to have to be the key to this game for NC State.
Well, NC State had a chance to get into this game when they were down 7, but some turnovers by the Wolfpack led to Tar Heel touchdowns, and Carolina's up big with 1 quarter to play at Kenan Stadium. Mike Golick in Bristol. Dave Pasch in Arizona. Marty Smith is in Chapel Hill, where it's 81 degrees right now. Sorry, fellas. 2nd and 7. Big hole for Carter. It's been the story of the game. North Carolina running all over that NC State defense.
Well, stunner. That one put Michael Carter over 100 yards for the day. Javonte Williams at 133 yards. So here you go. Just a zone play to the left. He ends up cutting it all the way back to the right. We've seen that happen a couple of times. They've done it both ways. They've cut it all the way back. They've kept going play side, getting the corner. I'm still amazed like you are, Dave. This North Carolina State defense had to be what stepped up today, and it has been the North Carolina offense that has been up to the task.
I know they were picked 11th preseason rankings, and they have some injuries, but just expected more. Again, huge running room for Javonte Williams. He'll basically walk in for the North Carolina touchdown. That's his 3rd of the second half.
Wow. Right guard Kewan Johnson, number 69, comes around, pulls around the center, comes up through the hole, just absolutely takes care of his block, and Williams basically untouched. And even if he's touched, he's usually breaking those tackles anyway. He made it easy on him here.
So 12 total touchdowns on the season for Javonte Williams. It is 45-14 North Carolina early in the 4th. Prior to Mack Brown's arrival, over a 2-year span, they were 121st in the country in 4th quarter point margin. Since Mack took over, they're the best. And they've already got a touchdown here in the 4th, less than a minute in. It'll come out to the 25 for NC State. Hockman has to keep it here, and he picks up a couple. Brought down by Surratt. So with Ohio State and Nebraska opening Big Ten play, Scott Frost, the Nebraska coach, says he's giving most of the credit for the Big Ten being back to Ohio State. I know that, Mike, you were among many very hard on the Big Ten for making the decision not to play. At least they rectified it, and they're back. 2nd down and 9. And Hockman able to hit Houston out of the backfield. Out of bounds around the 30.
Yeah, I go, listen, and it's not like I'm saying, oh, what is Golic think they should have just played, you know, through COVID? No, that's not what I'm saying. They still could have not played, but to make the decision to not play then and really end all the practices and end everything, I think was the wrong move. Like the SEC did and like the ACC did, you still had the time, you know, to where you have a couple of weekends where you could push games. Now, the Big Ten's not going to have that. The Pac-12's not going to have that. So what they did is they corrected their own mistake, quite honestly. It was their doing of stopping this, and now they made the right move to try and play now. And as you've heard all these coaches say, it's not been so much the COVID positive test, but the contact tracing. Guys that, as we have a timeout, guys that don't even have COVID, but still have to sit for a couple of weeks because of contact tracing, so more guys are missing.
Now 4th and 14, and the Wolfpack will go for it down by 31. Bailey Hockman, who started the game but was pulled back on the field, and he gets sacked by Tamon Fox, and North Carolina takes over on down.
We have another true freshman quarterback. Jacoby Criswell is in. Sam Howell's day is done.
Criswell will hand it off here to Cedric Gray, gain of 3.
Dave, as you stated there, the social justice movement is prevalent throughout college football. The players have a voice like never before, but coaches throughout the country are imploring their players, use your voice, but make sure that you're educated on what you're talking about. Make sure that the words that you use and whatnot are impactful. And we talked to Mack Brown about this, and he said, make sure that you guys are prepared. And if there's anything that you don't feel you can say, tell me, I'll say it. So the player said, well, Coach, what do you think we should say? And Mack Brown said, guys, I don't know, I'm white. Brown told us, I thought white privilege was that I was white and had money. That's not it at all. He said they started to have conversations that were very difficult and very impactful, and that there were actually 2 coaches on the staff, which he did not name, one white coach and one black coach, who weren't talking to each other, not because they didn't like each other, but because they didn't know what to say. And because of football, those conversations began, and they've filtered throughout the entire program, and it's been extremely beneficial. And Coach Brown said he has learned so much about his players on a personal, visceral, emotional level this season than he maybe ever has before.
All right, Marty, this football has brought a lot of people together, right? A lot of teams have grown closer through all this as Criswell keeps it after British Brooks lit up the defender on that last play. Criswell from Arkansas getting an opportunity here to play in the fourth quarter.
Number 2 player out of Arkansas, number 11th rated dual threat quarterback in the nation. He's taking the snap from another true freshman, Jonathan Adorno, the center. So this is where other guys get some playing time. But great words by Mack Brown. I mean, when we were talking to him, and I want to get into that a little more because he had just said some really, really great things.
Bad snap. It bounces right to Brooks, and he's brought down for a loss.
Auburn been 0-2 on the road this season.
They run it here on 3rd down and 9, and they're going to come up well short of the line to gain. It'll be 4th down with Henderson, the ball carrier. Go ahead, Mike, if you want to make your point on Mack.
With Mack, I asked him because there were 2 really good friends of mine who played, coached, and then got out of it and then back into it. Bill Curry, who I called games with for years, and then Herm Edwards, who I work with at ESPN. Got out of it, went to the media, and then got back in it. Mack did the same thing. And I said, what was the big difference for you? And he said, early on, the first time around, my head was in a bubble. I was just what was going on right in front of me. He said, now I've learned so much that so much happens off the field as well with these players that I want.
34-yard try here. 4th down and 7. And he nails it. 48-14 North Carolina over NC State.
But Pitt's defense, Dave, giving up 61 yards a game on the ground, 1.9 yards per rush. Look at that matchup. O-line against front 7 for Pittsburgh on how that now. Notre Dame's defense is pretty good in its own right overall. I believe they are 4th in all of college football. But yeah, Notre Dame's going to have their hands full with Pitt, no doubt about it. Very, very tough defense. 2 really, really good defenses on the field today in that one.
NC State 1st and 10 on his 25 with Bailey Hockman in the game again at quarterback. The loss of Devin Leary as Hockman's pass is caught near the 1st down by Justin Dunn. But the loss of Devin Leary, you have to wonder if Leary doesn't go down, NC State playing the way it was would not just today have been different, but the rest of the season for the Wolfpack, and they have been killed by injuries the last 2 seasons. They're already at their win total from a year ago as Hockman's pass is caught in NC territory by Anthony Smith.
It's been a interesting, for the number of years, his 8th year here, we've seen, a bit of a turnover, with some of the coaching staff in him. There's only 1 on the staff now that's been here since before 2019. So really kind of shuffling the deck here with coaches.
Dave, you mentioned the fact that NC State is 4-1 entering this game, and Dave Doeren, the head coach, actually told us it's amazing, and the reason why is before the students came back to Raleigh, they had 3 COVID positives total. After the students came back, he said they had 47 and 80 guys out for 8 days due to contact tracing. He said the fact that we're 4-1 with all that is amazing. Now, the way that COVID has impacted the Tar Heels, here's what Mack Brown told us. There is no team. There is no routine. It's all about survival this year. This year is survive and advance, and it looks like the Tar Heels might do that today.
Such a challenging year on so many levels, and for the head coaches, the job of managing all this, having to change on a dime. All these guys are so used to their daily and weekly routines, but those went out the window long ago. Third down and 10. Hockman throwing it deep, and it's incomplete over the head of the intended receiver. Done.
I mean, what coaches have to deal with anyway, as really CEOs, you know, of a team, whether it's college or in the NFL. And then this on top of it, I mean, you're basically trying to practice all week, and then you're literally crossing your fingers, hoping the tests come up negative. All these players and coaches and everybody in the sport group test 3 times a week. And you kind of hold your breath, hoping, you know, someone doesn't test positive. So we see a completion for a first down. Because if that happens, then not only the positive, but then, as I think, Dave, with the games we've done to a coach, they said the contact tracing is what gets you. One guy tests positive and 10 guys are out because of contact tracing.
And you also have the recruiting aspect of it, as Hockman throws a beautiful pass to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown by Smith. Penalty flag down, but that was a great throw by Hockman.
Feel like a substitution. Defensive players did not get off the field in time. That penalty will be declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
It's got to feel good for Hockman, getting some confidence back up. Dave throwing the ball down the field. That was an excellent throw. He had one early in the game like this that we thought a receiver should have had. I believe it was Devin Carter. You know, here another one lays out there. Nice air underneath the ball. A lot of credit for Hockman. You thought he maybe had his chance, you know, with Leary out for a while, maybe on the bench for a while when the true freshman came in, but getting another chance here. And even though I know it's kind of cleanup time here, he's trying to make the most of it.
NC State with an onside kick earlier. This time Colin Smith just kicks it deep. And it will go out of bounds, so a flag. Good starting field position for North Carolina. But injuries have really done in the Wolfpack over the last 2 years. Third time North Carolina State have squared off with both teams ranked, and the first time since 1993. Mack Brown was just getting things started there at North Carolina. And in his second stint, he has the Heels back on the winning track with a 48-21 win over North Carolina State. Thanks for watching college football on ESPN. For Mike Golick, Marty Smith, I'm Dave Pasch signing off from Arizona. After North Carolina routs North Carolina State